Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the standout features of this week that we can all relate to collectively, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to me, it's great to have you with me. If you'd care to like or subscribe or comment, you're very welcome. This is very much a community and it's wonderful to have you with me. Now this week does see one of the standout aspects in astrology, the Sun in an alliance with Jupiter. Jupiter in the sign of Aries is very much about new beginnings and freshness. In the sign of Aquarius, the Sun, Venus and Saturn is very much about the collective. It's how we interact and network, it's our friendships, but also our longer term planning. Because last Saturday there was a new moon in Aquarius, which is also feeling the energy of Pluto, the planet of great change, it may feel as if this is a really historic time for many of us. So what does it mean, that aspect between the Sun and Jupiter? I think it can be when we supercharge our longer term plans in a way which feels right for us now. We very often will have hopes, but when we get to that point where we achieve what we set out to do, we realise that we've actually shifted. And I think there can be a little bit of that this week. But Mercury, the planet of communication, is still forging a jarring angle to Mars. Mercury wants us to slow things down and examine possibilities in a very thorough and step-by-step way. It's in the earthy sign of Capricorn. Mars in Gemini wants things to go quick, very quick. But later this week, Mercury actually forges a brilliant link with Uranus, which will help us to embrace things that can speed up. Also, from Monday to Wednesday, Venus and Saturn are still within 3 degrees of one another, and they're asking us to think very carefully about the quality of our alliances. Now, Saturn can either be a cold and limiting influence or a very stabilising one. So we may find ourselves asking some key questions about close relationships, particularly as Venus moves into the sign of reflection of Pisces on Friday. Now there is a quarter moon as this week draws to a close. As much as the sign of Aquarius is very idealistic, the sign of Taurus is very realistic. And there may be something that we just need to make sure it stays in kilter between those two areas. As much as we'd like life to be a certain way, it is as it is. But then at the same time, that doesn't mean to say we can't apply our values and standards to that reality. And that's really what I feel is coming to the fore as this week draws to a close. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what the next year will hold for you as an individual, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, plus in my special package, your life roadmap analysis. This will help you to understand your astrological influences at a much more intimate level. Seize upon the ones that give you possibilities, but also work out some that have snagged you over time. There's 30% off. Please see the link below. And in my special package, you also get your free Zodiac, Vedic and Chinese forecasts for 2023. So Gemini, your week commencing the 23rd of January forecast really excites me. And the reason is Mercury, your ruler, moved into the sign of Capricorn on the 7th of December. It's still there and it's still in rather a tense relationship with Mars this week. But in the interim, Venus moved into Capricorn. We had the winter solstice in Capricorn as usual. But then Mercury, your ruler, went retrograde on the 29th of December. Then last week we had the combination between the Sun and Pluto in your 8th house. And all this 8th house energy is very deep. If you've been open to embracing it and going with it, it may have been a time of very intense transformation, which may not be completely at an end, with Mercury still in the sign of Capricorn and Pluto through till the 23rd of March. But the fact that the Sun has moved into your sister air sign of Aquarius, we've had that lovely new moon in Aquarius, and this week we have a very uplifting combination of the Sun angling to Jupiter in your sector of the future and of friendships. Really suggests that things are going to open up for you. This could see you wanting to travel, wanting to break out, go for some walks, do something a bit more rugged in a physical sense, or something that really helps to expand your knowledge in a more mental way. Also, Venus combining with Saturn. This does continue and obviously peaked last week on Sunday. That's really asking you to evaluate your connections to others based on what really feels sincere and truthful to you. So these are all very positive things and are giving you a lot of uplift this week. So I feel that you're going to have a lot more enthusiasm, a lot more desire to do different things and be spontaneous, all the type of things that are very much part of your normal way of being. But what about Mercury's ongoing quincunx with Mars? Well, Mars in your sign obviously is making you very direct, and it gave you the opportunity to be very direct, particularly from the 20th of August through to the end of September. But it's still speeding up. It doesn't really go back to its full pulse, if you like, until the 14th of March. But certainly the angle with Mercury is asking you to try to balance what's good for you, the individual, and where you have to collaborate in some way with someone else, particularly around financial matters. But Venus moving on Friday right to the top of your chart suggests that your natural people skills, because you're very adept at getting on with lots of different types of people, they're really going to be blessed in the following 28 days. Also, Mercury, your ruler, gets great uplift from Uranus, which has also been somewhat of an aggravating energy for you the last few years. They're linking brilliantly towards the end of this week. And I think all of this is going to help you to be more outgoing about your professional situation, about finances, about the potential for having fun and sociability, for traveling, or perhaps even romance. But what Venus's combination with Saturn is saying is it has to feel really authentic for you to really invest all of yourself. And I feel that all that 8th house energy you've gone through, it has been a sort of a really powerful period, and you may have really got into corners of your soul that you may not have connected with quite as intimately ever before, or perhaps it's been a time when you have been very intimate in a physical sense with someone who's been capturing your imagination romantically. But I think things generally really open up this week.